You want more. More money, more respect, more freedom, more opportunities. And you keep telling yourself that once you get there, everything will finally settle. Listen carefully. Success will not multiply what you mismanage. If you are careless with little, you will be reckless with much. If you waste small amounts of time, you will waste large amounts of time. If you mishandle small responsibilities, you will collapse under larger ones. Life does not reward desire. It rewards stewardship. Until you learn to manage what you already have, asking for more is not ambition. It is begging for a bigger mess. This is a mistake most men make. They think the next level will fix them. They think more money will make them disciplined. More recognition will make them confident. More power will make them wise. It will not. It will expose them. Success is not a shield. It is a magnifier. Whatever you are now, success makes you more of it. If you are disorganized now, success makes you more disorganized. If you are impulsive now, success makes you more impulsive. If you are undisciplined now, success gives you bigger ways to be undisciplined. Then you wonder why people rise and fall so quickly. They did not lose luck. They ran into law. They received more than their character could manage. Look at the evidence in your own life. Where do you leak value? Not in dramatic ways, but in small, repeated habits. You begin tasks and do not finish them. You start strong for a week, then disappear. You promise yourself change, then return to old routines the moment you are tired. You say you want financial progress, yet you treat money as something to spend, not to direct. You say you want freedom, yet you waste your evenings and then complain you have no time. You say you want respect, yet you do not even respect your own word. These are not minor issues. These are proof of mismanagement, and success does not reward mismanagement. It multiplies it. You must understand the role of responsibility in success. Most men chase the prize and ignore the price. The price is management. The ability to handle resources, time, energy, people, and decisions without wasting them. If you cannot handle your present life well, you are not ready for a larger one. And life is not cruel for withholding what would ruin you. It is precise. It protects itself and it protects you by testing you with small things first. Start with time. Time is the first currency of success, and most people spend it like they have an endless supply. They wake up and drift. They allow the day to command them instead of commanding the day. They move from one distraction to another, then wonder why nothing accumulates. If you mismanage time, you mismanage life, because everything you want, skill, wealth, influence, health, requires time invested with intention. If your hours are scattered, your results will be scattered. That is not a mystery. That is mathematics. Look at your daily pattern. Do you have a clear plan, or do you operate on mood? If you operate on mood, you are not managing anything. You are being managed by impulses. Success does not come to men controlled by impulse. It comes to men controlled by decision. Decision means you choose a few vital actions each day and complete them regardless of how you feel. That is management. Without it, even the best opportunities will slide through your fingers, because opportunity requires preparation and follow-through. Now look at money. Money is a mirror. It reflects the habits you already have. If you spend without thought, you will spend without thought at a higher level too. If you avoid looking at your numbers because they make you uncomfortable, you will avoid them when they are larger, and that avoidance will destroy you. The man who will not count small sums cannot be trusted with large ones. The man who treats money as something that simply comes and goes is not a steward. He is a passerby. Wealth belongs to stewards. The same is true of your energy. Your energy is the fuel of your life, and many men burn it foolishly. They argue about trivial things. They hold grudges and replay old injuries. They gossip, complain, and drown their minds in negativity. That drains energy the same way a leak drains a barrel. You cannot build anything significant while your energy leaks in a dozen directions. The disciplined man protects his energy. He chooses what deserves his attention and refuses what does not. That is why he advances while others stay busy but stagnant. And then there is self-management. Your emotions, your appetites, your discipline. If you cannot control your temper, you cannot control your future. If you cannot control your cravings, you cannot control your finances. If you cannot control your mouth, you cannot control your relationships. You might temporarily succeed with these weaknesses, but you will not sustain success. Sustained success requires stable inner order. Without inner order, prosperity becomes chaos. Here is the brutal truth. The reason many people do not make it is not because they lack talent. It is because they cannot handle the basics. They do not finish what they start. They do not keep their word. They do not manage their money. They do not manage their time. They do not manage their emotions. Then they ask life for bigger opportunities. Life refuses because bigger opportunities would only expose them faster. You must stop thinking the next level will make you better. The next level will only require more of what you already are. If you are already reliable, the next level will reward you. If you are already careless, the next level will punish you. This is why success seems to favor certain men. It does not favor them. It fits them. Their habits can carry the weight. Yours, if uncorrected, cannot. So the question is not, how do I get more? The question is, how do I manage what I have so well that more is safe to give me? That is the shift. The man who makes that shift becomes dangerous to mediocrity. He stops chasing miracles and starts building capacity. Begin with simple stewardship. Clean up what you already own. Organize your environment. Finish the tasks you keep postponing. Track your spending. Protect your most productive hours. Practice being on time. Practice speaking with control. Practice doing what you said you would do. These are not small habits. They are the foundation of trust. Trust from others, and more importantly, trust from your own mind. Your mind is always watching your behavior. When you break your own promises, your mind loses trust in you. That is why you hesitate. That is why you feel fear when opportunities appear. You are not afraid of success. You are afraid of yourself mishandling it. Fix the relationship with yourself by becoming reliable. Reliability is the root of confidence. When you know you will follow through, you do not fear bigger responsibilities. You welcome them. If you want success to multiply, you must first make sure what it multiplies is clean. Clean habits, clean discipline, clean systems, clean character. If your life is full of waste, then more will only create more waste. Success will not fix your mismanagement. It will expose it. Now that you see the law, you must apply it with precision. Management is not a vague idea. It is a daily practice. The first thing you manage is your mind. because a mind left unattended drifts into excuses. It justifies waste. It rationalizes weakness. You must take control of your inner conversation and make it practical. Each morning, ask, what must be done today that directly improves my position? What must be protected today that I usually waste? What must be avoided today that usually steals my energy? These questions turn management into action. Next, install a system for your day. A man without a system is not free. He is vulnerable. He is vulnerable to distractions, to other people's demands, to his own moods. System does not mean rigidity. It means structure. Set fixed times for deep work, for rest, for study, for planning. When you decide ahead of time where your hours go, you stop negotiating with yourself in every moment. Negotiation is where discipline dies. Decision is where discipline lives. Then create a simple rule. Finish what you start. You have been training yourself to abandon. That abandonment shows up everywhere. Unfinished projects, broken routines, half-committed goals. This is mismanagement of effort. Effort is valuable. When you waste effort, you waste life. Choose fewer tasks, but complete them. Let completion become your identity. Men who complete are rare. The world rewards rarity. Now apply stewardship to money, even if it is small. Track every expense. Not to become fearful, but to become conscious. Separate what is necessary from what is indulgence. Set aside something regularly, even if it is modest. Saving is not about the amount. It is about training your ability to delay gratification. Delayed gratification is the backbone of wealth. If you cannot delay gratification now, you will not delay it later, and later the cost will be larger. Finally, manage your associations. Poor company multiplies poor habits. If you spend your time around people who waste, complain, and avoid responsibility, your own standards will erode. You do not need to hate them. You need to protect your mind. Choose environments that reinforce discipline, clarity, and growth. Your life will rise or fall to the level of the influences you allow closest to you. Success is not withheld from you because you are unlucky. It is withheld because right now, some part of you would misuse it. Fix that, and the law changes its response. If you want success to multiply in your life, you must stop treating management as a side subject. Men talk about opportunity as if it were a mysterious visitor. Opportunity is not mysterious. It is attracted to order. It stays where discipline exists. It leaves where chaos is tolerated. And if you are honest, you have tolerated more chaos than you admit. You have tolerated it in your schedule, in your finances, in your relationships, in your habits, in your emotions, and in the way you handle your own mind. Now, you want more? Fine. But understand what you're asking. You're asking life to expand your current system. If your current system is sloppy, expansion will only make it louder, faster, and more painful. Begin with the first form of mismanagement, unfinished business. Nothing destroys momentum like a trail of half-done things. Unfinished tasks hang in the mind like unpaid debts. They drain energy because part of you is always aware that something is incomplete. The average man lives with a long list of "I'll do it later," and later never arrives. He thinks he is avoiding discomfort, but he is actually choosing a longer discomfort, the constant mental pressure of incompletion. Then he wonders why his mind feels heavy and his motivation feels weak. His mind is heavy because it is carrying scraps of abandoned effort. You must make completion a personal law. Not perfection, completion. There is a difference. Perfection is a trap for the fearful. Completion is a weapon for the disciplined. When you finish, you create closure. Closure releases energy. That energy can then be directed toward new creation. A man who finishes becomes lighter, faster, clearer. A man who starts 100 things and finishes none becomes clogged, slow, and confused. If you want success to multiply, you must first remove the weight of unfinished business. Take inventory. Make a list of every important task you have delayed, every project you began and left behind, every obligation you promised and did not fulfill. Do not soften the truth. Look at the list and feel the discomfort. That discomfort is your wake-up call. Then choose the top 5 items that will relieve the most mental pressure when completed. Start there. Finish one, then finish another. Do not attempt to do them all in a day. That would be another form of mismanagement, overpromising and failing. Choose one, complete it, and let your mind register the victory. Repeat. This alone will change your life, because finishing restores trust in yourself. Most men lack confidence because they have a long history of betraying their own intentions. They say, "I will," and they do not. After enough betrayals, the subconscious mind stops believing the conscious mind. It begins to treat your plans as fantasies. Then you try to take on something big, and you feel fear. That fear is not only fear of the outside world. It is fear of your own unreliability. Finish small things, and you rebuild credibility with yourself. Credibility is the foundation of confidence. Next, confront mismanagement of time. You have been acting as if time is elastic, as if you can waste an hour and then recover it later by being more serious. Time does not forgive. It moves forward, collecting its payment whether you are ready or not. The disciplined man does not merely work hard. He works intentionally. He decides in advance where his best hours will go. He protects those hours from interruption. He understands that the day has a spine, a few key actions that determine whether the day advances his purpose or not. Most people live without a spine to their day. They wake, react, and chase minor urgencies. They are busy, but their busyness is scattered. Scattered effort feels like movement, but it produces little progress. If you want success to multiply, you must convert your day from reaction to direction. The simplest method is this. Each evening, choose the 3 most important actions for the next day, the ones that directly build your future, not a list of 20 things. 3. Then, the next day, do those 3 actions before you allow the day to pull you into lesser tasks. This practice does 2 things. First, it ensures that even if the day becomes chaotic, you have already secured progress. Second, it trains your mind to value the important over the urgent. The urgent screams. The important whispers. The weak man obeys screams. The strong man honors whispers. If you can build this habit, You will outpace men who are busy all day and yet make no real advance. Now, confront mismanagement of money. Many men do not have a money problem. They have a discipline problem. They treat money like water running through their fingers and then complain that they never accumulate anything. Money will not accumulate in the hands of the careless. It will pass through them because they have not developed the habits required to hold it. Even if you increase their income, they will find new ways to spend. The problem is not the amount. The problem is the relationship with money. You must become the kind of man who respects money as a symbol of time and value. Money is life converted into currency. When you waste money thoughtlessly, you are wasting slices of your own life. Begin to track your spending without fear. Most avoid their numbers because numbers expose reality. But you cannot manage what you refuse to face. Write down what comes in. Write down what goes out. Categorize it. Look for leaks. A leak in a small pipe becomes a flood when pressure increases. If you do not seal leaks now, a larger income will not save you. It will simply leak faster. Next, practice saving. Saving is not about hoarding. It is about training. It trains delayed gratification. It trains self-command. It trains you to live below your means. That ability is the backbone of wealth. Even if you can only set aside a small amount, do it consistently. Consistency is the point. A man who saves consistently proves he can govern himself. That governance is what allows him to invest wisely later. Without it, any fortune becomes a bonfire of waste. Now address mismanagement of energy. Energy is your most valuable resource because it fuels your time, your work, and your thinking. Yet many men squander energy through needless conflict, chronic worry, and constant emotional drama. They wake up already tired, not because they worked hard, but because they have been arguing with life in their minds. They replay old insults. They hold grudges. They fantasize about revenge. They criticize others to feel temporarily superior. All of that burns energy and produces nothing of value. You must treat your energy like capital. Spend it where it yields return. Stop feeding resentment. Resentment is a thief. It steals focus and gives nothing back. When you catch yourself replaying an old injury, interrupt it and ask, what does this thought produce? If it produces no constructive action, drop it. Replace it with a thought that builds, a plan, a solution, a lesson, a next step. This is not suppressing emotion. It is directing it. The disciplined man does not pretend he has no anger. He turns anger into fuel for improvement. He does not pretend he has no fear. He turns fear into careful planning. He does not pretend he has no disappointment. He turns disappointment into correction. Also, manage your body. You cannot build a strong life with a neglected instrument. Many men want success, but live in ways that make them weak, sluggish, and unfocused. They treat sleep as optional. They treat food as mere pleasure. They treat physical strength as irrelevant. Then they wonder why discipline feels hard. Discipline feels hard because your body is not supporting your mind. Take care of your body as part of your stewardship. Rest properly. Eat sensibly. Move your body daily, not for vanity, for capacity. A strong body supports a steady mind. A steady mind supports success. Now confront mismanagement of relationships. Many men sabotage success by keeping weak alliances. They tolerate people who drain them, distract them, and lower their standards. They call it loyalty. It is not loyalty. It is fear of loneliness. The truth is that poor company multiplies poor habits. If you spend your time among men who mock discipline, you will struggle to stay disciplined. If you spend your time among men who waste money, you will waste money. If you spend your time among men who complain, you will complain. You rise or fall to the level of your closest influences. This does not mean you must cut everyone off in a dramatic way. It means you must become deliberate. Limit your time with those who pull you into mediocrity. Increase your time with those who value growth, integrity, and consistency. Choose friendships that sharpen you, not ones that numb you. If you cannot find such people nearby, then fill your mind with their ideas through books and teachings. You must protect your mental environment. Your environment is part of your management. Now we arrive at the most important management of all, management of your own mind. Your mind is either a tool or a tyrant. A mind left unattended becomes a factory of excuses. It justifies weakness. It rationalizes delay. It persuades you to abandon what matters for what is easy. You must become the director of your mind, not its servant. That begins with deliberate thought. Each day, it set aside time to think clearly about your life, your goals, your habits, your progress, your mistakes. Most people never do this. They live on automatic pilot and then wonder why they end up in places they did not choose. Thinking is the highest form of work. If you do not think, you will be driven by circumstance. If you do think, you can direct circumstance. Make it a habit to review your day in the evening. Ask, did I do what I said I would do? Did I waste time? Did I waste money? Did I waste energy? Did I speak carelessly? Did I avoid a task that mattered? Then choose one correction for tomorrow. This is not self-criticism. It is self-management. You may be tempted to say, this is too strict. No, it is simply honest. Life is strict. Success is strict. The world does not reward sloppy habits with lasting rewards. It may reward them temporarily by accident, but it will not sustain them. The man who wants lasting success must become a manager of his time, his money, his energy, his words, his habits, his relationships, his mind. Here is the promise hidden inside this law. Once you stop mismanaging, success begins to multiply naturally. Not because the universe suddenly becomes kind, but because you stop leaking your own value. You stop wasting the very resources that could have built your future. You become efficient. You become reliable. You become stable. Stability attracts opportunities. People trust stable men. Money stays with stable men. Responsibility is given to stable men. And as you become stable, you will notice something else. Your fear decreases. Much of your fear comes from knowing that you are not ready, that you are not organized, that you are inconsistent. When you clean your life up, you become less afraid of bigger opportunities. because you know you can handle them. You stop praying for miracles to rescue you and start building systems that support you. You stop needing luck because you become dependable. That is the real secret. Success will not multiply what you mismanage, but it will multiply what you master. So stop asking for more while treating what you have as careless. Start proving you can be trusted. Start managing your life like it matters, because it does. Now we go deeper. Because the real mismanagement that ruins man is not always visible. A man can appear disciplined on the surface and still be sloppy at the core. He can work hard and still waste his future. He can earn money and still stay poor. The hidden failure is this: he mismanages his standards. He does not have a clear code that governs his choices. So his life becomes a series of bargains with weakness. Today he is strict. Tomorrow he is loose. Today he is focused. Tomorrow he is scattered. Today he is patient. Tomorrow he is impulsive. Success cannot build on such shifting ground. You must establish fixed standards for yourself and treat them as law, not as preferences, not as I will try. Law. The reason you keep slipping back into old patterns is that you have been negotiating with your bad habits as if they deserve a vote. They do not. The moment you start negotiating, you lose. Weakness always bargains for just this once. Then just this once becomes a lifestyle. You wake up one day and realize you have been living in exception after exception, and nothing has accumulated. Start by choosing the few standards that, if kept, would change everything. For example, I finish the work I start. I keep my word. I do not spend money blindly. I protect my best hours. I do not speak in ways that poison my mind. I do not tolerate chronic disorder. I do not indulge habits that weaken me. Choose your own, but make them concrete. Then enforce them, not perfectly at first, but consistently. Consistency is the true test. Here is where most men fail. They try to fix everything at once, then collapse and call themselves hopeless. That is mismanagement again, mismanagement of effort. Your effort must be directed intelligently. You do not overhaul your entire life in a week. You build it like a structure. Foundation first, then pillars, then walls, then roof. Start with the one standard that would create the greatest ripple effect. Usually, it is your schedule or your word. If you can master your time and keep your promises, everything else becomes easier. The next hidden form of mismanagement is emotional debt. Many men live with a heavy emotional balance sheet. They owe anger to people from the past. They owe resentment to family. They owe bitterness to former partners, former employers, former friends. They keep these debts open by replaying old scenes, imagining arguments, rehearsing revenge. This drains energy and attention daily. You cannot build wealth or mastery while your mind is busy paying interest on old injuries. This does not mean you pretend nothing happened. It means you close accounts that no longer serve your future. Ask yourself, what practical benefit do I get from replaying this insult? Does it improve my position? Does it build my skill? Does it increase my income? Does it strengthen my character? If not, it is a waste. You are burning fuel to run in circles. If you need to take a corrective action, set a boundary, end a relationship, pursue justice, and do it. But stop rehearsing pain as entertainment. Pain is not a hobby. It is a lesson. learn it, then move on. Another hidden mismanagement is mismanaging your identity. You keep telling yourself a story that does not match the man you want to become. You call yourself lazy, unlucky, not smart enough, always behind. Then you wonder why your actions follow that story. Your subconscious mind does not debate your labels. It obeys them. If you label yourself weak, you will act weak. If you label yourself careless, you will act careless. If you label yourself doomed, you will sabotage every chance to prove otherwise. This is why success does not multiply your life. It multiplies your story. If your story is failure, success will magnify the failure. You must change the language you use about yourself, not as a motivational trick, but as an act of management. Replace useless labels with useful directives. Instead of, I'm lazy, say, I have been undisciplined, and I will be disciplined today. Instead of, I'm unlucky, say, I have been unprepared, and I will prepare. Instead of, I'm behind, say, I'm building foundations, and I will not rush. This is not pretending. It is steering. A ship that keeps saying we're doomed will drift into rocks. A ship that says a just course will find safer water. Then there is mismanagement of attention in the presence of opportunity. Many men miss chances, not because chances do not appear, but because their attention is consumed by trivialities. They are so caught in gossip, small pleasures, pointless arguments, and constant noise that they cannot see a real opening even when it stands in front of them. Opportunity does not always announce itself with fanfare. Often it comes disguised as extra responsibility, as a task no one wants, as a problem everyone avoids. The man who is managing his life sees those problems as gateways. He says, if I can solve what others avoid, I become valuable, the mismanager says. Not my problem, and stays average. Value is the only thing that creates lasting success. And value is created by solving problems, improving systems, making things better, faster, cleaner, more reliable. If you want success to multiply, you must become a value builder. That requires you to manage your focus toward what matters. Ask daily, what problem can I solve today? What process can I improve? What can I deliver with excellence? The man who asks these questions becomes indispensable. Indispensable men do not remain poor for long. Now, consider this. The more success you get, the more options you have. Options are dangerous if you lack self-control. Options tempt you to indulge. They tempt you to loosen your standards. They tempt you to drift. That is why success destroys those who have not learned management. A man with many options and no discipline becomes a slave to his impulses. He says yes to everything that flatters him. He spends on everything that excites him. He commits to everything that looks promising. Then his life becomes chaos again, only more expensive. So if you want success to multiply, you must train yourself to say no. No is a management tool. No protects your time. No protects your energy. No protects your money. No protects your purpose. The man who cannot say no will be controlled by other people's agendas and his own appetites. The man who can say no becomes a ruler of his life. This is why boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. Practice this in small ways. Refuse one unnecessary expense. Refuse one useless conversation. Refuse one invitation that steals your best hours. Refuse one habit that weakens you. Each refusal is not deprivation. It is discipline. It is proof that you can govern yourself. And once you can govern yourself, you can be trusted with more. Now let's talk about mismanagement of learning. Many men stop learning once they leave school. They think learning is something you do as a boy, not as a builder. Then they stagnate. The world changes. Markets shift. New methods emerge. The man who stops learning becomes obsolete, even if he works hard. Hard work without learning is like digging with a dull shovel. You will sweat, but progress will be slow. If you want success to multiply, you must become a student again. Study your craft. Study money. Study human nature. Study communication. Study your own weaknesses. Not casually, not when you feel like it, but as part of your management system. A man who is always learning becomes sharper each year. A man who stops learning becomes softer. The world does not reward softness. The next hidden mismanagement is mismanaging your imagination. Imagination is a tool. It can build your future or sabotage it. Many men use imagination only to worry. They picture failure, rejection, humiliation. They rehearse disaster, then they call it being prepared. It is not preparation. It is programming defeat. Real preparation uses imagination to rehearse success calmly, realistically, step by step. It pictures the work being done, the habits being lived, the challenges being handled with discipline. If you want success to multiply, begin using imagination as a training ground. Each day, visualize yourself managing money wisely, managing time with structure, managing conversations with restraint, managing work with excellence. Then go do it. Imagination alone is not enough, but imagination combined with action is powerful. It trains your subconscious to accept a higher standard as normal. Now we arrive at the final hidden mismanagement. Mismanaging your purpose. If you do not have a definite purpose, your management will be weak. You will manage your time for comfort instead of growth. You will manage your money for pleasure instead of freedom. You will manage your energy for drama instead of building. Purpose gives direction to management. Without purpose, you may become efficient at the wrong things. Write your definite purpose in one sentence. Make it clear. Make it measurable. Then align your management to it. Ask, does this expense support my purpose or weaken it? Does this habit support my purpose or sabotage it? Does this relationship support my purpose or distract it? Purpose turns management into a weapon. Without purpose, management becomes mere survival. Success will not multiply what you mismanage. It will only multiply what you can hold. And what you can hold is determined by the standards you enforce, the habits you repeat, and the purpose you serve. If you want to step into more, then become the kind of man whose life is orderly enough to receive it. Not because life is unfair, but because life is exact. When you manage the small things with honor, success has something clean to multiply. When you leave the small things in chaos, success has nothing but chaos to expand. Decide what you want multiplied, then manage accordingly. Now you understand the law, so stop arguing with it. Success will not multiply what you mismanage. It will only enlarge it. If your present life leaks money, time, energy, attention, and integrity, then more will not save you. More will drown you. The man who cannot manage a small income will mismanage a larger one with greater speed. The man who cannot manage a simple schedule will become overwhelmed when responsibilities expand. The man who cannot manage his temper will lose partnerships, trust, and opportunities when the pressure increases. This is not opinion. It is the consistent pattern behind every rise and fall you have ever witnessed. Life does not punish you by giving you more. You punish yourself by mishandling what you receive. So here is the question you must face without excuses. What exactly are you mismanaging right now? Do not answer with general statements. General statements are how weak men hide. Name the leak. If you can name it, you can fix it. If you refuse to name it, it will rule you. Most men do not fail because they lack a chance. They fail because they lack structure. They fail because they treat discipline as something optional, something they will get serious about later. Later is where dreams go to rot. If you want to change your results, you must change your system, because your system is what your life becomes. Start with time, because time is the first capital. If you spend it without awareness, you are not building, you are gambling. Time is a daily allowance given to you in equal measure as every other man. The difference is what you do with it. The mismanager wakes up and allows the day to grab him by the collar. He reacts to noise, to other people's urgency, to random impulses. He calls that life happening. It is not life happening. It is life being wasted. The steward wakes up and decides what the day is for. He places the most important work first, before the day can steal his best hours. He does not confuse being busy with being effective. He is not impressed by movement. He is impressed by progress. If you do not decide what your day is for, your day will decide what you become, and it will not choose wisely for you. Most of your stress is not caused by heavy work. It is caused by scattered work. Scattered effort drains you and produces little. This is why you end a day exhausted, with nothing solid to show for it. You were active, but you were not directed. That is mismanagement. Success does not reward scattered effort. It rewards focused effort repeated over time. So you need one hard rule. Every day must have a spine. A spine is a small set of actions that, if completed, guarantee progress even if everything else becomes chaotic. Without a spine, you live like a leaf in wind. With a spine, you live like a builder laying bricks. Build the spine this way. Choose the one thing that most directly improves your future position and protect time for it. Not 10 things. 1. The mismanager loves long lists because long lists feel productive. But long lists create a convenient excuse. I was overwhelmed. The disciplined man chooses the one action that matters most and finishes it. Completion is power. Completion builds confidence. Completion builds reputation. Completion builds momentum. A man who is known for finishing becomes trusted. Trust produces opportunity. Opportunity produces growth. If you want success to multiply, start finishing. Now we move to money, because money is simply time stored in another form. Most people treat money emotionally. They spend when they feel good and spend when they feel bad. They spend to celebrate and spend to escape. Then they call their situation unlucky. That is not unlucky. That is undisciplined. If you cannot handle money without emotion, you will never build wealth, because wealth requires calm. Wealth requires decisions made with a cool head. The richest men are not the most excited men. They are the most deliberate men. They do not confuse desire with wisdom. They do not confuse impulse with opportunity. They do not spend as if the future is guaranteed. They plan as if the future must be purchased. If you cannot account for where your money goes, you are not managing it. You are hoping. Hoping is not a financial plan. You must track, not to become fearful, but to become aware. Awareness is the first step of control. A man who refuses to look at his numbers is like a captain who refuses to look at the compass. He might feel calm for a day, but he will end up wrecked. Most men avoid tracking because it exposes their leaks. Good. Let it expose them. A leak exposed can be sealed. A leak ignored becomes disaster. The amount you earn is not the main issue at first. The habit of stewardship is, if you cannot control the small flow, you will not control the larger river. The easiest proof that you are becoming a steward is simple. You begin saving something consistently, even if small. Saving is not only about money. It is about authority over appetite. A man who cannot delay gratification is a man who will always be controlled by people, by moods, by temptation, by comfort. When you save, you are training yourself to choose future stability over present pleasure. That training is more valuable than the amount you save at first. The habit is the seed. Success multiplies seeds. It does not multiply carelessness. Now consider energy. Many men lose more wealth through wasted energy than through wasted money. They spend their energy on arguments that change nothing, on bitterness that produces nothing, on jealousy that builds nothing, on gossip that creates nothing. They leak their power daily and then wonder why they feel empty. Energy is not infinite. Whatever you waste today, you must live without tomorrow. The disciplined man protects his energy like capital. He does not attend every fight. He does not answer every insult. He does not chase every distraction. He chooses what matters and ignores what does not. That is why his mind stays clear, while others become exhausted by noise. Your emotions are part of this. Emotional mismanagement is one of the fastest paths to ruin. You can have skill, talent, and opportunity and still destroy yourself through uncontrolled reaction. Anger spoken too quickly can burn a bridge that took years to build. Pride can stop you from learning what you need to learn. Fear can make you avoid the very step that would change your life. If you cannot control your inner state, You cannot control your outer outcomes. This is why self-control is not a nice trait. It is a survival tool for success. The higher you rise, the more pressure you face. And pressure exposes uncontrolled emotion like fire exposes weak metal. So you must practice control in small situations first. That is where the training is. When someone annoys you, you do not react instantly. You pause. When you feel the urge to speak sharply, you hold. When you feel the impulse to waste an hour, you redirect. These tiny acts of restraint are not small. They are rehearsals. One day you will face a moment where one sentence could cost you a fortune, a partnership, a reputation. If you have practiced restraint, you will be safe. If you have practiced reaction, you will ruin yourself. Success will not rescue a man from his own mouth. It will give him more chances to destroy himself with it. Now let's talk about relationships and reputation. Because reputation is a currency more valuable than cash. People do not entrust opportunities to those they cannot rely on. If you are inconsistent, you may be liked, but you will not be trusted. And trust is where doors open. Most people think the world rewards brilliance. It rewards reliability even more. The man who shows up, follows through, and keeps his word becomes rare, and the world pays for rarity. If you are always late, always vague, always almost ready, always working on it, then understand what you are communicating. I cannot be trusted. Then do not be surprised when life keeps you in small roles. The same is true in business and work. The world does not pay you for what you intend to do. It pays you for what you deliver. Intentions are cheap. Execution is expensive if you mismanage execution by procrastinating, by leaving tasks unfinished, by avoiding discomfort. Then success cannot multiply you. It will avoid you. Opportunity is drawn to the man who handles small tasks with excellence, because that is the only proof of how he will handle larger tasks. Men who want promotions but despise their current duties are exposing themselves. They are telling life, I want a higher seat, but I do not respect responsibility. Life hears that and replies, then you will stay where you are. Now we reach the most important mismanagement. Mismanagement of the mind through doubt and inconsistent identity. Many men live with two voices inside them. One voice says, I want success. The other says, but I am not the kind of person who can handle it. The man goes back and forth, building and destroying, starting and abandoning, aiming and retreating. That inner division is mismanagement. A divided mind cannot build a unified life. It burns energy in internal conflict. It produces hesitation, second-guessing, and fear. The cure is not a burst of motivation. The cure is identity backed by evidence. You become the man who can handle success by acting like him now in small ways, consistently, until your subconscious mind believes you. That is why finishing matters so much. That is why keeping your word matters so much. Each time you do what you said you would do, you are telling your subconscious, we are reliable. over time. And that becomes your natural state. Your confidence grows, not because you are pretending, but because you have proof. Then when a bigger opportunity appears, you do not panic. You recognize it as an extension of habits you already live. You do not fear responsibility. You are already trained for it. Now understand the harsh but freeing truth. You do not need a miracle. You need management. A miracle might give you sudden success, but without management, sudden success is a fast collapse. Management gives you slow growth that lasts. Slow growth is not glamorous, but it is stable. And stability is what opportunity respects. People put money, partnerships, and trust into what is stable. They avoid what is chaotic. They may enjoy chaotic people for entertainment, but they do not bet their future on them. So the practical question becomes, what do you fix first? Fix the leak that costs you the most. For most men, it is time. They waste the best hours of the day, then try to rescue the day with exhausted effort at night. That is backwards. Your best hours must be used for your most valuable work. That work builds skill, reputation, and income. Everything else can be placed around it. If you fix your time, you often fix your money. If you fix your money, you reduce stress. If you reduce stress, you improve your focus. This is how one correction can trigger many. Choose the first correction wisely. Then set a rule. You will not build your future on mood. Mood is not a foundation. It changes too easily. Build on routine. Build on system. Build on standards. Standards mean you decide ahead of time what kind of man you will be, and you refuse to negotiate with weakness daily. A man with standards does not ask each morning, do I feel like being disciplined? He already decided. That decision gives him freedom. He no longer wastes energy bargaining. He simply acts. And yes, you will fail sometimes. Your old habits will try to return. You will have days when you waste time, spend foolishly, speak sharply, drift from your purpose. The mismanager uses those days as an excuse to quit. See, I am not built for this. The manager uses those days as feedback. Good. Now I know what breaks my structure. I will reinforce it. That attitude is the difference between people who change and people who repeat the same year forever. The goal is not never falling. The goal is learning how to recover quickly and correct the system that caused the fall. Here is the final line you must accept. Success is not an escape from responsibility. It is an increase of responsibility. If you cannot handle responsibility now, you will not handle it later. The man who wants more must become more disciplined, more organized, more honest, more calm, more consistent. That is the price. Not everyone will pay it. That is why not everyone rises. And that is why those who do rise seem rare. So stop praying for success to multiply your life while you keep mismanaging the foundation. That is like asking for a larger house while your current house has termites. You do not expand rock. You repair it. Start repairing. Finish what you start. Track what you spend. Protect your best hours. Control your reactions. Choose your company. Train your mind. Keep your word. These are not small actions. They are the exact behaviors that prove you are safe to bless. Because in the end, success is not a lottery ticket. It is a trust. And trust is only given where management is present. Now we seal this law into your bones. You are not waiting on success to change your life. You are waiting on yourself to become trustworthy. That is the real delay. Most people pray for a breakthrough while ignoring the breakdown in their habits. They ask for a bigger harvest while their fields are full of weeds. And the weeds are always the same: inconsistency, excuses, impulse, unfinished work, careless spending, emotional reactions, weak boundaries. Success will not multiply what you mismanage. So the correct prayer is not, "Give me more." The correct prayer is, "Make me capable of more." Then you prove that prayer with daily stewardship. You must stop treating stewardship like a boring subject. Stewardship is the gatekeeper of every blessing. The man who cannot manage little cannot be entrusted with much. Not because the world hates him, but because law protects the reward from the unready. If you are not managing your present life, you are not merely missing success. You are being spared from disaster. You are being protected from receiving what would expose your weakness and crush your reputation. That is why your first goal is not expansion. Your first goal is order. Order in your day. Order in your finances. Order in your commitments. Order in your mind. Start by understanding what management really is. It is not a burst of control one day and collapse the next. It is not a strict mood that fades when the weather changes. Management is the ability to direct yourself consistently. It is self-government. It is living by decision instead of by feeling. Any man can be disciplined for a week when he is frightened. Few can be disciplined for a year when the fear fades and the real work begins. That is why the world is full of starters and empty of finishers. Finishers are managers of themselves. So here is what you do. You turn your life into a clean container. A container is what holds blessings. Without a container, water spills. With a container, water accumulates. Your habits are the container. If your habits are cracked, success leaks. If your habits are strong, success stays and grows. That is the simplest way to understand it. Stop asking for a flood while your container is broken. Fix the container first. Fix it with daily rules you do not negotiate. 1. You will protect one block of time for your highest value work every day. Not when you can. Not if nothing comes up. Every day. 2. You will finish what you start, starting with the most important unfinished tasks haunting your mind. 3. You will track your money and stop the leaks, even if the amounts are small. 4. You will practice emotional restraint, because uncontrolled emotion is the fastest destroyer of opportunity. 5. You will review your week and correct one weakness at a time, because correction prevents collapse. Now listen, the reason many people fail is not because they do not know what to do. They fail because they refuse to do the simple things consistently. They want a complicated secret, because a complicated secret gives them an excuse to delay. But success is often simple. It is not easy, but it is simple. Do the right things repeatedly. Stop doing the wrong things repeatedly. That is it. The challenge is not complexity. The challenge is obedience. You will feel resistance. Your old self will fight you. It will say, "This is too strict. You are doing too much. Rest today. Start tomorrow." That voice is not your friend. It is a part of you that wants comfort more than progress. And it will always sound reasonable. Weakness always argues politely. That is why you must refuse negotiation. When the voice says, "Not today," you answer, "Especially today." Because today is the day discipline is built. Not on easy days, on days when you do not feel like it. Every time you do the work anyway, you strengthen your identity as a man who can be trusted. That identity is worth more than any money you could earn quickly. Now, you also need to understand the danger that comes when success finally begins to show. The moment you start seeing results, more money, more recognition, more opportunities, you will be tempted to relax. You will say, "I have made it. I can ease up." That is the beginning of collapse. The habits that built your rise must become the habits that protect your rise. If you drop the discipline that created your progress, you create a gap, and life will fill the gap with pressure. That pressure will test you again, and if you are careless, it will take back what you gained. That is why true success is not achieved once. It is maintained daily. Maintenance is management. Maintenance is humility. Maintenance is continuing to do the unglamorous things that keep the machine running: planning, tracking, reviewing, correcting, finishing, resting properly, working properly, speaking carefully, choosing wisely. The world applauds the big win, but the big win is held in place by small habits no one sees. This is why many men look successful for a short time, then vanish. They loved the applause, but despised the maintenance. You must not become that man. You must become the man who respects maintenance. The man who understands that a steady mind is more valuable than a sudden victory. The man who understands that controlling yourself is more important than controlling the market. The man who understands that character is the true wealth, and money is only one expression of it. Money without character is danger. Character with money is power. Now let's talk about the clearest proof of real management. You stop making excuses. Excuses are the language of mismanagement. Every excuse is a confession. I did not direct myself. The world does not reward excuses. It rewards results, and results are produced by those who take ownership. Ownership is the ability to say, "This is on me," not in self-hatred, but in authority. Because once it is on you, you can change it. If it is always on the economy, on your family, on your past, on other people, then you are powerless. Power begins where excuses end. So make a new rule. If something goes wrong, you will not complain first. You will correct first. You can feel frustration, but you will not live in it. You will ask, what is the next action? That one question turns you from a victim into a manager. Victims describe problems. Managers solve them. And life gives more to solvers. because solvers can handle more. This is also why you must be careful what you consume mentally. If you fill your mind with pessimism, you will manage poorly. If you fill your mind with cheap entertainment, you will become cheap in your standards. If you fill your mind with bitterness, you will leak energy and lose clarity. Your mind is the control room. If the control room is confused, the whole operation fails. Feed your mind with principles. Feed it with ideas that sharpen. Feed it with truth. Then your decisions improve. And improved decisions compound. Now, do not misunderstand this law. It does not mean you must be perfect to receive success. It means you must be improving. Life does not demand perfection. It demands progression. But progression must be real, not imagined. Real progression shows up in behavior. You waste less time than you used to. You spend more deliberately than you used to. You finish more than you used to. You react less and think more. You keep your word more consistently. Those changes prove you are building capacity. Capacity attracts opportunity like a magnet. And that is the final shift. You stop chasing opportunity and start becoming the kind of man opportunity chases. You do that by being managed, by being consistent, by being steady, by being clean in habits. The world is hungry for reliable people. Reliability is rare. Most are emotional. Most are inconsistent. Most talk more than they produce. If you become reliable, you will stand out without advertising. People will call you. They will recommend you. They will trust you with more because you have proven you do not waste what you touch. So the closing instruction is simple. Stop asking life to multiply your life while you keep mismanaging the foundation. Start managing like you already have the blessing. Treat your time like it is valuable. Treat your money like it is seed. Treat your word like it is law. Treat your mind like it is a weapon. Treat your character like it is your legacy. Do that, and success will not only come, it will stay. And when it stays, it will multiply what you have mastered, not what you used to mismanage.